Welcome to a special night show of Paranormal Highway. Houses that are haunted. A lot of us who are into the paranormal, we look for that. We want to walk into a house that's haunted. So it's different. But when you're a person who maybe are not into the paranormal like us, what is it like for them to walk into a house and start seeing strange things? What is that like? Tonight, if you guys remember, last week, an email was sent to me about a story. I'll share the screen real quick. Um, Patti Troy from Canada sent me this email. If you guys remember the email, it talks about how she lived in a bizarre haunting that maybe, it's interesting for us to hear. And I appreciate her for sharing this with us. And, she mentioned how she moved in with their friends for terminally ill mother, which I said that's that takes a lot of strength and stuff to do that, to help somebody. And then strange things started to happen. And some of you in the chat mentioned that wouldn't it be great if she could come on the show and like maybe kind of tell us firsthand on some things she could see. And guess what? She said yes. Yes. That's awesome. And again, I tell people, send me your emails and stuff. I do read them, and I will put them on a show when I can. And this is awesome, because I want to know what's it like. I want to find out from her, was she always in the paranormal, or was this like the first kind of a big event type of paranormal thing that made you start thinking that there is energy out there? So I'm so curious, so interested. I mean, this is just, for me, this is exciting. I love meeting new people. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love meeting new people who are just like us. Blue collar, hard worker in life, don't have the agenda to, I don't know, go on high tech paranormal shows. Because if you want to go on high tech paranormal shows, I'm sure you're not coming to my channel. But again, guys, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be kick ass, and I'm gonna play the intro. I'll see you guys back. Go find yourself a bathroom and say Bloody Mary 3 times, and let me know if you survive. All right, that was one of my older intros when the channel was called Gypsy Road. Some people saying that and all that. Well, Patti, this is awesome. So,
I
did you tell me that I'm the first person you ever went on with?
I'm so nervous. I've never been on YouTube. I've been too scared to do this, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a go tonight because I did have a story. So I know you're into that, and
Well,
it was weird.
I'm always curious, like, what's it like for like somebody else? Like I was saying in the beginning, like I look forward. I want a house to be haunted for myself. So when I go in there, I'm hoping something happens.
Mhm.
But what if somebody's not hoping for that? What's it like for them? Before we get to your story, before 2022, I mean, were you ever into the paranormal in the first place before 2000? So you're always into it
Well,
or
I'm not
listening.
super into it. I'm a believer. I've always been a believer. I have seen a few things, like a lot of people here and there, but like nothing constant, like what we went through at this house. I didn't even think that was possible. I'd heard stories like that, and I thought, no way, like you would run if those things were happening, right? And I
And
believe in Bigfoot too. I like Bigfoot stories. I like, the people that had encounters like Jay Fritz, and I'm interested.
well, I
That might
always
be flesh and blood. I don't know if that's
no,
paranormal, but
no, well, the word paranormal, really, really means everything,
yeah,
not just ghosts and spirits. And even if you never saw Bigfoot in life, or like I said, even a gray alien, green alien, but it's nice to have an open mind because you just never know.
yeah,
You never know. I think I don't know if it was on Reddit. I wasn't arguing with somebody. Somebody was like, how come we never us see Bigfoot? And I'm like, you know how many tigers are in the forest? When the last time you go out in the wood and you saw a tiger?
yeah,
When and there's more tigers than probably than Bigfoot. You don't see them. They're
yeah.
hiding. You don't see them. Like, how often do you see a bear? You get lucky if you see a bear. It's almost like everybody thinks, a Bigfoot is going to walk right in front of you, and it's like, it's hard to see almost any animals. My family, they're hunters. It's not easy for them to go out and find a buck. I mean, animals hide. I don't understand people why they think things just pop out, and ghost spirits, we're all trying to figure that out. We're all trying to figure out, you know, first of all, it does spirits exist? And if it's a yes, they do exist. How do they exist? Why do they exist? You know what I mean? There's so much into it and all that. So, like you said, you always had an open mind of the paranormal, even before the 2022 thing. But are you at all any investigate? Like, have you ever investigated one, or are you just like listening to stories of the paranormal?
I just liked usually listening to stories. Like, I would have liked to actually have somebody investigate that house, but it wasn't in the cart. Like, we had bigger fish to fry, basically. And then after she passed, the house got sold. But that would be but I don't even know if that place was haunted or if it was us. Like, that's part of the story. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, see, that's why I asked if you like done like investigations. Did you bring something along with you and all that? But
Mm.
but so beyond like the 2022, everything, anything really paranormal were just really tiny minor little things before
Compared
you
to
went
this,
to this,
yeah,
right?
like just incidents, like here or there. I did have a few things happen, but like this was not a daily thing, but it was definitely weekly. We never knew what was going to happen and we just accepted it, to be honest. There's a few things I didn't like and I was really scared,
But what
but
was like, so if I remember your email, and people, her I put put her story also in the description of this video here because she wanted to read it. So in 2022, you and a few friends, so you guys moved into this house in 2022. Was it your mom or your friend's mom?
it was my friend's mother. I met this friend, it's 6 years ago now, but she moved in next to me 5 or more years ago, and it was right after the loss of her only daughter, her only child. So we stayed friends. I took care of her dog. She still isn't doing very great. And, I needed to downsize my place. And her mother was like, call Patty and tell her to come move into my basement, to help
Hey,
her out.
and of all
And
places, in the basement. If there's a haunting in a house, a lot of times it's in the basement and all
yeah,
that.
at first, the couple things that I saw was in the basement. Like, I didn't actually see it, but I'll get into it. But most of the stuff actually happened upstairs. I wasn't downstairs a whole lot because I was upstairs helping pretty quickly, like all the time. If I was awake and not at work, I was upstairs with them helping. So
You don't
I
always
actually
wonder.
felt better in the basement.
A lot of things I always wonder, like we don't, of course, we don't want to see anybody ill. I mean, that's I don't want people to think I'm saying anything negative about somebody being ill. But I wonder if when somebody is ill, if that somehow opens up something where, like you said, maybe the house not always haunted or not, but some spirit somebody who's weaker or something, can that create, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I
I'm always
think you're on the
curious
right track. That's
because
what I was feeling about this whole thing. I think it was the right place, right time. I think the veil was thin. I think me and her friend, like we were all very, it was a lot of work. It was a very stressful situation, very
I mean
emotional.
I mean, before you, so the day before you move in, like, did they ever mention anything that they ever had any kind of experience before you went in? So there's no mention of nobody had any.
Actually, like my friend and her mother didn't, but actually there was a couple of caregivers before I moved in, and they did have a couple of experiences before I moved in. But we didn't talk about it until after we started. Well, we would hear things together and see things. Some things I only saw by myself, and I told them all about it. But there's a couple things that was happening before I moved in. But my friend and her mother, they were almost kind of oblivious to it, to be honest.
Well, when you live in a house for so long.
This was a new to them. She had
Oh,
just
it's new.
sold her
Okay,
farm. She'd sold her
okay.
farm. This family actually had a lot of loss. My friend lost her daughter. It was her mother's only grandchild. Um, she lost her aunt. She lost my mother's friend, or sorry, my friend's mother lost her husband the year before. He had cancer. And they had to put 2 dogs to sleep in April before I moved in, like 2 weeks apart. They each had a dog, and I think I'm forgetting somebody. There was a
But
lot of
see,
ashes at this house,
that's
a lot of ashes.
interesting because that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of.
It
I'm
was
not
all
saying
within the
ghosts.
5 years that these
Yeah,
people had passed. It was all obviously very important people. I mean, it's their only child, the most devastating thing that can happen to you.
it it could be a ghost stopping by and saying hi. That's a relative. I mean, you don't know.
I
But
didn't know. At first, I just thought maybe the veil
but tell
I
us the
thought it was her family coming.
what
I'm not
what was the
but I
first
can
thing like? Because you moved in. Like, what was the first thing? Something happens where you're like, "Uh oh, is something
First thing, it
strange here?"
wasn't too dramatic, but like I said, I was staying in the basement and it was 6 a.m. and I'm getting ready for work. And this wasn't a major thing, but this is the first thing I remember. Like that was weird. There was not far from me when I was getting ready, there was one window in that part of the basement, like in a window well. So it was 6 a.m., pitch black outside, and there was a sheer curtain inside. So I just saw black, and I was sure that if somebody was looking in, they could probably see in. But I heard and we felt there was a loud kick at that window.
Oh,
And I didn't want to I thought somebody from the sidewalk, because it was next to the sidewalk. I thought somebody must have kicked it, or maybe somebody's even looking in. So I wasn't going to get ready or finish getting ready till I looked outside. And it was the first couple days of November. It was the first snowfall, a really light snowfall. And there was no footsteps or anything anywhere around, like nothing. So
ooh. So you heard
I
the
thought it
click
was
and
weird.
you went out to look to see if there's footsteps, and there was nothing. Fresh
Yeah,
snow.
but I just assumed somebody might be out there just watching, so that's why I went and looked. And yeah, it was the first snow of the year, and it was just a light snow. But I thought it was weird, and I never heard that again. Like my cat heard it too. He jumped. It was like well, not the whole basement vibrated, but like it definitely there was a vibration and it sounded like a kick.
And if somebody threw a snowball, it would have left snow things
Something, yeah,
on
like
the
there
window.
wasn't even
That.
mouse prints or anything. Like I don't know if it was anything, but that's the first thing I remember. I was like, that was weird.
Wow.
Um,
Jessica Jones says she goes, "Hey Eric, living in a haunted house is wild. My heart goes out to her." I mean, so, and that would shock you a little bit because kicking a window, like that sound, you're like, "What the hell is that?"
yeah,
Like is
yeah,
somebody
like
trying
the
to
whole
say,
window
"I'm here"?
vibrated. Yep, there was something. I thought that was weird. But the second thing that happened, it was actually my cat. We were downstairs. This was probably right after this, like the night after this kick, but we were downstairs. He was cuddling. He always sleeps up by my head, even uses my hand as a pillow, probably. But he was cuddling and purring. And all of a sudden, he was gone to the foot of the bed. and he was looking up at something that I couldn't see, like, and he kept looking back at me, like his eyes were just bulging out of his head with and his mouth open, like, "Are you seeing this?" Like, kept
Animals
looking back.
know. Animals know.
I always used him as my ghost detector before, like, if I thought he was seeing something, I'd put my hand in front of him or something like that, and then I'd always get his attention and it was fine, right? But this time he wasn't
Oh, they
having it.
know. I mean, every time I try to take my dog to the Normandy Park area where the devil's hand is, that my dog want to go nowhere near it. You
Yeah.
know, and it feels like, well, that's luck your dog to want to go there. But every time I'm there, that dog does not go in that one spot. I mean, it's just trees and dirt. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing there to be scary. But I know what you're saying. You know, animals can feel. They got, you know, they have different kind of eyesight than we do. They can see through the dark. They can see
Yeah, I
things.
knew he could see something. I did have my overlight, the light over the bed was still on. I hadn't shut it off yet. He was looking at something, looking back at me, but what he did, Eric, was he followed something all the way around the bed, like, and then back again. That's what really freaked me out. He turned and everything. He went all the way around the bed, watching something like even against the wall, and all the way back again.
And
So I was like, "Good night." I kept the light on all night, but
and so the rest of that night, that first night with the kick of the window, your cat's following this thing. Did you ended up having any, like, weird dreams that same night by any chance? I'm just trying to,
I
like,
don't.
put pieces together, like
I had one weird dream much later, like a really terrifying one, but no, like, it was nothing. It was 11:30. I had to work in the morning, and I just kept the light on. I was like, "I'm done with this day." Like,
trying to keep the light on.
there's nothing I could do, right? Like, other than run upstairs and sleep on the couch maybe, but I
No.
couldn't feel a presence or anything like that. I didn't feel anything like that. I could just feel my cat's fear was but I have no
Yeah.
idea what he was
You know
seeing.
your animals. I mean, people know their
I
animals.
know
They know
him, yeah.
something is off. You know, I mean, we've all had that where something's weird at night and you're like, okay, you know, I'm gonna turn on the light on. I don't care. I need to wake up in the morning. I'm gonna
Yep.
bust it through it. Okay, so you have that one night, and I'm sure when after you went to work or whatever you had to do, you I'm not saying you didn't think about it like, okay, that was just something freaky just happened, but probably
Yeah.
nothing major yet. You probably ain't think nothing haunting yet.
No, I was well, her aunt's ashes were actually in the basement with me, and we even found those by accident. They actually forgot them there. I shouldn't laugh, but, like, when I was unpacking my stuff, I was like, "What's this? A box of cement?" Well, it was her aunt's ashes, right? And I kind of thought maybe that had something to do about it. Like, they'd actually forgotten they were gonna, have a rich, they were gonna do something with them, and with everything that happened, they just forgot. So a couple mornings after that, 6 a.m. again, the door upstairs was closed. We could close the door. She had a cat and I had a cat. We kept them separate for a while. And he was in the dark. He was watching something come down the stairs. He was at the foot of the stairs. He was watching something slowly come down the stairs. And then I saw him watch it go past him and then towards me. So I just went upstairs and got coffee and stuff. And I didn't know.
But it's not hasn't but nothing has like touched you physically or like nothing so so nothing scary in a way. I mean, I know it's scary that something happens out of nowhere, but
Yeah.
nothing physically like marking,
No, I
scratching, none of that yet. None of that stuff.
No, not yet. I don't think I remember ever being touched, but, like, I did have some fear, but I knew I was more worried. He wasn't scared, he was just watching something that time, but, like, when I saw fear in him a couple of times, that freaked me out. I didn't like that because 'cause I've never seen that before, and I haven't seen it since. Like, we've moved out of there, I think a year ago, well, August. The cats are completely normal. We haven't heard anything, like, everything stopped about a month after her mom passed, actually.
I'm just wondering, you know, if there was a like you said, there's a lot of people that have passed away within the last 5 years. Was it somebody like visiting? basically kind of like kicking the window more of saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm here."
Maybe, like,
It's hard to
at
know. Yeah.
first I assumed it was a family member. I thought it might be her daughter. Like, I thought they were there, near the end, but there's things that happen later, and I like, Eric, I have no freaking idea what was going on.
But while these few nights have been happening, did anybody else house in the house making claim like same thing was happening to them those exact same days?
No, like, no, nothing like that. I did tell them about it, but, like, I think I did send you a picture or a video of her
Yeah,
cat, and it's not that one's not even a great example of how animated or how dramatic it would get. I just happened to finally catch it
like I think
on
no,
film to
these
show
here,
a
I think
friend.
these are pictures here.
Yeah, those will come up later. It'll help explain a story. That's the hallway upstairs. Yeah, there's just a video. She was constantly seeing things, chasing
Let me
things, her
see.
cat upstairs all the time, like especially down she was always seeing stuff down that hallway and chasing things and seeing things and very she wasn't seem scared, but she was always watching something. And then that stopped, pretty much after her mom
This
passed.
is yeah, just the I don't know. Yeah, only the pictures. It only allowed the pictures to come through. I wonder why it won't allow you to send
Yeah.
that video.
Well, it's not super input, but it was just an example of what she would do. But like it was a pretty tame example. There was a few times like I was too scared to even like film what they were I didn't want to see something on film when they got more dramatic than that. There
So
was one time, yeah.
so the
Sorry.
film, this film you're talking about, it caught something on it.
No, I was scared to catch something as
Oh,
far as like filming it. I filmed that one to show my friend of like an example of how she was behaving all the time. But like, yeah, it was pretty mild compared to what they sometimes did when they were seeing stuff. I kind of wish I got video of it to show people, but at the same time, there was one time when I did have a chance when later on, like my cat was really scared of something, and I did have a chance to go get the phone, and I thought, no, I'm scared.
well, most people don't have their cameras and stuff ready for it. You're not expecting that. It's it's not like the movie Paranormal Activity where you got someone in the house that's hardcore cameras. You're gonna have it ready. They're gonna have it filmed. Common people don't do that. And you don't know
No,
when it's gonna happen. So it's not like you want to catch it, but you don't know what's gonna happen.
no, no. I just wanted, yeah, I wanted to film it, but at the same time, I was scared to review it and to see something when I don't
I
know
see that. I can see
why.
that. I
I
can
don't
see
know
that
why.
because you're not really seeing it, you're hearing it, you're feeling it, you're seeing your cat. But if you could see it, I could
Yeah.
see where that develops another kind of fear. Like, oh my God, I'm seeing it. This is here. Even though you know it's here, back in your mind, you're still trying to make it well, maybe it's the house. But if you see it, yeah, I could see where your scare could actually go into a little overdrive.
Yeah, with everything that happened, I kept my cool pretty good. There's a few times I got scared, but you know, we just had to live with it because, we were dealing with a terminally ill woman. So like a haunting was like the almost the least of our worries, if that makes
So
any sense.
I'm not saying comforting. People with haunted houses they're in all that, and I always hear these certain people, they should just move out. And in reality, you just can't move out. That's your house. It's not like you have other houses that you just throw everything in and go.
Yeah.
I know people who are stuck in these houses because there's nowhere else to go. So you
Mm,
can't just pick up and leave. You
no,
gotta like suck it in a way.
yeah, we were kind of stuck in our situation until
And
however it can
your
end.
friend's mother's ill. You just can't pick her up.
No, and like I said, she was oblivious to it for the most part too. We didn't talk about it a whole lot in front of her. And even my friend, like we talked about it, but she never even, well, she heard a couple things that we all would hear together, but she didn't really see anything or have the experiences that some of us had. Her
Well,
mother
she had
later.
her own issues to deal with than the
Pardon,
ghost. The
pardon me.
ghost is minor to
Oh, it
her.
was. It was. It
It
was
was.
and she was probably like, I don't even know if she really well, she believed it, she knew, but it wasn't a big worry for her at all. She wasn't terribly concerned. So, yeah,
So
don't
after
know what.
those main things, was there anything else that really blew your mind about you had no doubt in your no doubt in your mind this place is haunted?
Well, I still like with him seeing stuff, I was doubting it up until a point. I was with the caregiver one evening after we put her mom to bed. Uh, we heard scratching come down on the wall from that office. We both heard it, some scratching. Often we would all hear it too. We'd hear her cane coming down the hallway sometimes almost immediately after we put her to bed. We'd hear that cane. We all heard that together or separately. And that even began before I moved in. That was one of the things that the girls knew was already happening.
I still
So,
remember when I was playing with the not playing with the ghost, but I was asking the ghost to do something live on air. And when a thing pulled down my green screen, I remember hearing when I first before the green screen came down, I heard scratching, like 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 it's like trying to pull something. I'm guessing, and
mhm.
then after I heard the scratching, I looked up, and that's when it came down. So it's like that scratching is they're doing something. I don't know, like maybe trying to move a picture or push something to.
There was a lot of stuff that happened down that hallway, the laundry room and office area. We would hear like a lot of stuff seemed to center around there. Um, I don't know why. I do have some suspicions, but yeah, I don't like scratching sounds because maybe because of The Exorcist or something, I wasn't crazy about, it wasn't in the attic at least, so that made me happy, I guess.
No,
But
no, I hear you. Because like one of the most grossest things about a movie is not the scenery, is when you hear that crack, crack, that cracking noise and all that. It's like, oh no, you're like, oh
yeah, we
god.
have no idea what it was. What I'm trying to think of, I heard a male cough when we were together. That wasn't a big thing, but I heard a male cough in that area. Me and her mother, we were watching TV. Nobody else seemed to hear it but me.
But see,
And
that's cool in a way because you heard like somebody coughing and it was a male, so you kind of like now you can be like, so it's a male ghost maybe that's in this house.
well, maybe.
I mean, they could be multiple, I mean, they could be 3 or 4, but
Yeah.
it's interesting that you heard a male's voice, like
I
coughing,
heard a male coughing. She
like it's
said like
watching it's like it's sitting there watching you guys, and
her husband the year previously had died of cancer. So yeah, when I did tell her, she thought maybe it was him. I don't know. Like, or maybe I was hearing things, but yeah, that was I wasn't scared. Like these are just even minor examples. Like things got more dramatic, Eric.
well, yeah, but, like I said, these are minors, but when you start putting all the pieces
Yeah,
together, it starts to, the puzzle starts to come forward, the window kicking, eh, then like the scratching noise, you're hearing a male's voice. I can see. I mean, I can't. I don't know if there's a difference between a female ghost with the male ghost, but I can see thinking of a male ghost. It's getting so frustrated, so it's kicking the window, so it's there. I'm not
maybe.
saying a woman's ghost want to kick the window, but you know, I can see where
I
men get more frustrated easier. And
One time she was sick too. My friend was sick, and we locked her into the laundry room because obviously, like, she was really sick with a cold, and obviously her mom's terminally ill. She had cancer. Get in that laundry room and stay there. Like, don't touch anything. Get in there. And in the morning, I was gonna be the one watching her mom, and my friend had a coughing fit in the like in bed. There was like a bedroom. I shouldn't say when I call it the laundry room, like get in the laundry room. It was actually a bedroom too. She was coughing a lot, and I heard this voice say, "Linda." So I ran to go see how I thought maybe that's what her mom sounds like like in her sleep or something. I thought maybe she was really annoyed by the coughing, keeping her awake maybe, but
So
she was
so so this ghost
sleeping.
said her name.
Linda,
So this
like a
is an
man.
intelligent ghost to know the name of the person.
It was something like that. Intelligent.
Well, not intelligent, but I mean, like if a ghost, because you could hear like the ghost saying somebody's name.
Yeah, I
I
could
mean,
hear
that
that.
means it's responding somehow. It's like talking directly to you. You know, there are some ghosts that like it's like a record. They do the same type of things or the same kind of noise every single day. It's like just a record going around and around. But a ghost who actually says a name, that tells you that the ghost is there. You know, it has a reason. It's not just a record going doing the same thing every day. It said a name Linda because now the mother was her name Linda or is there somebody else?
That's my friend's name.
Your friend's name.
Yeah.
See, it knows your friend's name. So that's what I mean by intelligent. That it's listening to know the person's name.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like I don't know if this place was haunted or if it was something that we brought in. I don't know, collectively or separately. I don't know. Like I wouldn't have a problem living in that property. I bet you it's fine now. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they would have no problems.
I'm one of those person who believes that every house has a spirit. You know, because
Mhm.
this whole earth, everybody has. There's been death all around this United States, or not United States, around the whole world. But it doesn't mean that all these places are affected with spirits. You're going to hear them. They're going to talk to you. There's a reason. It's something triggers. You know, it could be the person. You know, they might just be there might be just something about you where they want to try to make contact with you. You know, it might have always been there and nobody sees it. I mean, because you hear these stories all the time that this house is haunted, and then the new people move in, nothing's ever happened. Maybe the spirits don't respond to them. Maybe they
Yeah,
they
like
like you.
right people, right time, right
Right
place.
time, you know.
I don't know. All the circumstances and the personalities come together is that's my guess of what was happening. But I mean, what do I know? Like,
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's almost impossible to know if something follow you there or not. I mean, if you go to some theories, you know, the movie Poltergeist, you know, some of their theory is that it doesn't matter where you go, where you hide out, it'll follow you. Or is that ghost there stuck in that house? You're just the right person for it. Or maybe you're just a person that's more open-minded than the others and you're allowing to hear it and all that. Because I remember a good friend of mine, a good medium friend of mine that says, because I was getting frustrated that I've been going all these investigations and nothing's happening. And a friend of mine, sometimes things are happening. You're just not listening to it right. And I can see that where you think any kind of noise is a simple noise, but that could be a ghost, a spirit. You don't know.
well, like it's interesting because one of the reason like our ears really had to be open, and I think that made us more susceptible, or we were hearing more stuff. Like like the reason too, like we had to be with her mom 24/7, and a lot of that was for assistance to walk. We just couldn't leave her alone because anytime we'd leave her alone, even to go to the bathroom, like because she was a smoker, and we'd always take her to the table to smoke. Like we had no problem. Like if she wanted to do it 50 times an hour, like it was her life. But she just needed the assistance because the year before she'd been in the hospital twice with bad falls. She would fall, and that was just in the hospital, not alone like 911 to pick her up. So we had to really have our ears open, especially like till we got a baby monitor, especially for her, because we could just put her and she could be trying to get out of bed like 5 seconds later, or she could be dead asleep, we thought, and she'd be walking down the hall.
But see, you
So
said it
we
right there. You guys were tired. You know,
so
you're up like 24. Not maybe up purely 24 hours, but you're listening. You're one step away of going to hospital. And some people believe that spirits will show themselves even more to you because you're weak. You're not strong to fight them off. But I mean, luckily these things never try to harm you. So we're not talking demons here, but they
Mhm.
say sometimes ghosts are attracted to people who are in a weak state at at that moment in time.
I think we were all like, there's a couple, they weren't so weak, but yeah, like me and my friend, like, yeah, it was, we were exhausted, or like even beyond exhausted. So, a lot of these things too, if I didn't have witnesses for it, I would think that I was crazy. Some of it
Having
maybe I
witnesses
was.
is a big plus. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is. It's when people say, Eric, when you guys saw the Bigfoot, what makes you strong in your stance of saying that's a Bigfoot? Because I go, because there's 11 of us, and every single person that was there all agree what it was. It wasn't
Mm.
just by yourself. It wasn't you missing something. Other people has witnessed it along with you, and that's awesome. It is. It is awesome because it brings. It doesn't make you. You don't feel crazy then.
If
You
I'd
feel
experienced
justified.
a lot of these things by myself, I wouldn't even tell the story. Like, I would have just honestly assumed like I was crazy. There is a few things that I saw that other people didn't see, but they also weren't exactly where I was at that
Well,
exact
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I mean, a ghost
So
energy can't be everywhere in a house, if it's just one ghost.
I
Now
don't
there's
know if there was one.
multiples, but it's not like poltergeist where the whole house is going crazy. Usually if it's one ghost, it's going to be in one spot. So if you're seeing it, they're not going to see it unless there's another ghost in the house.
I
In
have no idea.
theory.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
we all don't know exactly how the energy works on the other side. You know, these are just theory. But beyond that house, after that, all that from that house, you don't live there now, right? You live somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Have you
Yes.
ever had any exact like experience like that?
No,
So
nothing.
that that might should tell you that maybe it is more territorial. It might be a territorial ghost.
Maybe there's things that happened after she passed, and it pretty much at
Oh
about
yeah, the
3 weeks.
phone thing. That was so interesting. So if I get this right in your email, so the phone, her phone, I think he said it was disconnected, like her. But then a couple days after the phone was disconnected, you guys got a text.
See, this is about almost 2 weeks after she passed. For some reason, like the 2 days before her phone was supposed to be disconnected. I was alone quite a bit in the house after she passed. Her daughter went back to spend time at her place more. Um, but she came over this day on the Friday, almost 2 weeks after she passed, and she was really upset. She was crying at the kitchen table. And a lot of it was because of the phone. She was upset about it being disconnected. She We should have looked at her phone anyway, but she was worried that some of the texts between her daughter and her mother maybe would have gotten lost. And she was worried she hadn't saved them.
Mm.
And she was also just crying about the funeral and that because the funeral was going to be a month after she passed. So she was making funeral arrangements. And anyway, she was crying. And then I was with her. She had her phone was in her purse on the table. And finally, we stopped talking for a minute, and she gets her phone out of her purse and she says, "Oh my God, Patty, look at this." And, she'd had a text from her mother's phone. Uh, it was just her phone was an Apple phone, so I don't know Apple phones at all. But
I
it
got
was
an apple.
it was a text, a text, but inside that text was an empty chat bubble. So that came at 4:36 and here it was like 4:42 and I know that phone was in her purse. I know it. She wasn't playing with it or anything. So I went to the bedroom where her mother's phone was. It was still like it was still on. And I looked at her phone. Her mother's phone was an Android. But somehow when her daughter's phone was in her purse while she was crying. Her phone had sent her mother's phone a picture of Linda, of herself. It was a picture of her laughing. Can you
Wow.
believe that?
Of all pictures of her
Of all
laughing,
pictures.
like,
She had sent it to her, I guess, months previous. I think she must have been on a night out or something, and it was just, "Hey, mom, this is me," or whatever. But she did send her mom's phone a couple more texts after that, just saying, "I love you, I miss you," because we don't know how that, and nothing came back to her phone. I never thought maybe we should send a picture again to see if that would bring back that chat bubble thing. I didn't think of that, but like I honestly, it's the phone being in the purse thing while we were talking and finding out it was like 6 minutes earlier while we were talking that text, they both got sent. First, she'd sent the picture, and then her mother's phone sent that text back, if that makes sense.
no, it's kind of a in a weird way, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, it's really strange that she was
It
specifically crying about the phone
you
being
know?
disconnected.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's like saying it's gonna be everything is gonna be all right. I've told people this story all the time. Well, we went to do my father's funeral, which everybody knows that was the total mess. They had the wrong dates, and all that was the story. But rain, sun. But after we my since my father was military, supposed to have the shoot, the whole ceremony never happened. It was like perfect for our family, I guess. And then I remember all of a suddenly nobody was walking on the sidewalks, no nothing. Every car just decided to go off. Every alarm like goes off, and it was almost like because everybody was sad, at the funeral, but it was like it did this on purpose to like snap us out of it. Because I made him a comment like, "Oh, that's my Uncle Bob messing with us," because he passed away. It was like, yeah, that's Uncle Bob. They're messing with us with the alarm. It's almost like they did it on purpose to get our minds off of being sad. It's like their way of doing something in a weird way. Because otherwise,
That's
I know somebody could say, "Yeah, somebody set off all the cars." I see cars get set off, yes, but all the cars on this one set of road was going off, and it wasn't raining at that moment. There was nobody walking, no animals.
mhm.
So in a way, is just trying to say, "Hey, don't be sad. Let's celebrate the life."
That's kinda what she figured, like, well, it did snap her out of it, like, it shocked her,
Exactly. That
yeah, and
that was the
she's
whole
like,
point
"I
of
know what my
you
mom's
know
saying," she's like, "Shut up, Linda, stop your crying." So,
exactly.
yeah,
Because when you know your family, what happens, it makes sense for that. It's
mhm.
wow. Yeah, I
There's
really think the
also
phone was a beautiful thing, in my opinion. Because
yeah,
nobody
there
ever
was
got harmed. You said nobody ever got scratched. I mean, you know, it's-
no, 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 just the as far as actual fear, it was the cats, so I was just really curious, like, what would make my cat that scared? I don't know, like, I there's one time, like, he looked like he was frozen. He wanted to bolt, but he was frozen in place, like looking at me, looking back, looking at me. He was watching something go back and forth. There's a picture of the hallway, but he was looking down the hallway. He was on the couch, but up, down, looking all over. And then it's like something came into his face and he jumped back on the couch. He jumped back and he made a noise too. But that ended it, like, nothing, he was done with whatever he was
hey,
seeing, but
hey,
something like that happened to
yeah.
her cat too, maybe a
Hey,
week
I
earlier.
remember sitting on the couch. Nobody's in the house. It's me and my dog. And I remember we heard this noise in the kitchen, and my dog just like before she started barking, she was just looking like I remember seeing my dog like sensing something. She didn't bark right away. She was sensing something, and then she started barking. But like I said, there was like nothing there. There's nobody there, no cats, no nothing.
Mhm.
And it was out there a noise. And then we, of course, we went in there. We didn't see nothing that could make a noise. Like we didn't see nothing fall on the ground. know anything, I really truly believe when we're sitting on that couch, the dog saw something. Something made a noise, but I don't know what that is. Now, like that was interesting. You said that there were ashes at the house because right here, my brother's ashes are in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I and in there. Oh, actually, a brother became a sister. That's a whole different story. But right here, and I remember Amber's Perry World said there was a ghost standing next to me, and when she was describing this ghost, she was describing my brother.
Oh,
You know, and I till this day think the scratching and everything that I've heard was probably my brother trying to say, "Hey, I'm still here."
yeah, that's good. Like, 'cause, yeah, the sketching thing, like, I was never crazy about it, but if there's a positive, like, I think I just watched The Exorcist too many times. Like I said, like, I didn't like,
Well,
I don't need to see Captain Howdy or
we're thinking of like scratching, but if you think of a ghost energy, it probably takes a lot of energy to try to get something to move. So, where we think they're making all these scratches, it's probably them just trying to get enough energy to make
maybe.
something move, and it's just that noise. You know, it's
There's a few times I'd be, well, not alone in the house, but I'd be alone with her mother, and I would get, there was that electrical charge that people
a
talk
ghost
about.
mouse. A ghost mouse might scare a cat. Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But no, no, a ghost mouse ain't gonna scare a cat. That cat will still try to eat that mouse. Ghosts are real, so I don't think a ghost mouse is gonna scare a cat. That cat's
No,
gonna want
it'd
to
be
eat
on
it.
the ground too. This was, he was look always both time like looking up at something, to not quite the ceiling, but looking, about head level if I, people standing, which was
But
strange.
even though you're always, like you said, somewhat, into the paranormal. After all that, did that get you more like involved, wanting to hear more different people's stories? You
I
know,
well, I didn't really change anything. Like I always like I listened to some paranormal podcasts. I listened to Bigfoot. Um Actually, it's, well, there's a couple things that did happen. It's sort of just changed. I don't even know how to think about it because, like, I just don't know how I think about things now, like paranormal. Uh, I'm far from figuring it out, but there was some mimicry stuff that, I don't understand, or maybe I was crazy because I saw a woman twice that looked a lot like my friend, and she wasn't there. She was at her own place.
that's. But I know what you're feeling. My video I put out today that I was walking, doing my one of my walks, and like you want to know so bad. It's killing you a little bit on the inside. What is it? What is this? Why can I talk to it? Why this thing's not appearing more? Because it's like you want to know so badly. And it's just not knowing 100% is what kills you. I think you'd be fine if it actually could have a conversation. I know that'd probably be scary if a ghost is actually having a conversation, but that's the only way you probably get peace. So you're always going to have this back in your mind now, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, like I said twice, yeah, I saw a woman, yeah, I don't know what to make of. Like it even made me think, there's one time in particular, um, I saw a woman walk into the laundry room and it was really weird. I did send a couple pictures that probably looked weird, but there were these pictures of this Christmas tree type of thing behind a door. I don't know if you got them.
There's
You're probably wondering what the hell. So there was a caregiver in the evenings that there was issues with, and one of the issues was well, all of us, but she wasn't supposed to be going into that office. None of like none of us did. Like it was just sort of a rule, right? um so she finally discovered she'd been going into the office somehow. So 3 nights in a row, this was our little, it was just to see what was going on. It seemed so stupid, but she had put that against the door, my friend. and so that way she could pull the cord out towards the door, just to bring it really close to the door, and that way there'd be no way, like when you open the door, you're gonna move that. So 3 nights in a row, yeah, this was the last day. I think it might even be the last day she worked here, but she was not only going in, like she would move that and she would move it to the other side of the room. Sort of like, I'm coming in this, like 3 nights in a row. We didn't know what, like, I think I knew what she was doing in there, but um, just
This
kind of
one,
like giving us the finger, like, yeah, I'm coming in the room and like, are you gonna say anything about it?
this one here is kind of trippy because it's like the cat is staring.
Yeah, it's a good example of what the hallway, like down there's to the left there was an entrance to the kitchen. Then back there was the office, and then there would be the laundry room. On the other side of that would be uh, the bathroom. But the point too is, I thought I was taking a video of her. She was seeing something down there, so I was just taking a picture, like by accident. I thought I was taking a video. She was seeing something, but
I
it
mean, it
was
looks like
through
she's
that.
staring at something.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I was taking a video, but she was constantly that hallway down there. Um, yeah, so that would have been a good video to get if I hadn't actually just taken a picture instead. But it's in that kitchen doorway that you can see to the left. That's where I saw, or from in there, a woman twice over in that hallway.
Wow.
Once I saw a woman while I was in the kitchen, cleaning the stove, actually. So just to the right of me, a couple feet away, was the doorway that you see.
Uh,
And I saw a woman run past it while
Now,
I was
Freaky
standing
Geek
there.
wrote, "Is the cat looking at the wheelchair or something behind it?"
She was looking back. As far as I can remember, she was watching something down the hallway, but she could have been looking at it right that second, but it was something down the hallway. A lot of times she'd go chase it, but sometimes she would just watch it. Both of them would watch stuff. It was always down there. I don't know why. So I saw a woman run past once, and then thinking about, like, it looked a lot like my friend, even though it was quick. And the second time was, it was the day that we found those Christmas trees, right? That she had moved it. So I came home from work and I saw that she'd moved that tree, so that's why I took that picture and it was on the desk. And when I came home too, I'd always check the washer and dryer, like to make sure everything's done. So when if I was home by myself with her mom, I didn't have anything to do. Like we couldn't really leave the room when she was up for very long. Like, and that's
Put it
even why
back
we
up.
would run too. Like I saw a woman run, and at first I just thought it was the caregiver running to go to the bathroom, because you couldn't, if you had to do something, you had to do it fast.
Danny
But
wants me to put it back up. Okay. What is it, Danny? Are you seeing something there, Danny?
in the mirror,
This is why you show people, because sometimes
yeah,
some people could see a certain shadow, like a shape that we're not looking for.
yeah, there could be. I haven't studied that picture or a lot of them. Like, yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a
Well,
good example of just showing that hallway so people could see what, and it's a basic hallway, but it
you,
was all at the bottom or at the back of that
you want
hallway
me to
that.
zoom in, Danny? I can zoom in. Oh shoot. Okay, there we go. It's like, 'cause like if you look, I mean, I know it's gonna sound weird, but if you look at the left on that wall right behind the wheelchair, it's almost like in the middle is a different lighting texture than the rest of the wall. I mean, I might be just like I said. But
Yeah,
what is it? What,
maybe.
what does he say here? On the floor, there does look like a shadow of somebody under a sheet.
I wonder if is it me? Like, is it towards the window? Like, I probably could see my head taking the picture of her. Yeah. That's probably me. There's probably a table back there she used to have plants on, and that's probably my head sticking up from the light, I guess, I'm thinking.
So who lives there now?
No idea.
I mean,
There
not your family and not your friend's family at all. They was sold.
no, they sold it. It was sold in October.
Man,
They
it's
did
like
ask, I guess the realtor did ask, said, yeah, the new buyers are asking if she died in the house. I don't know why they were asking that. I don't know if she was told that a terminal, like, I don't know. I don't know why they would think to ask that, but I don't know.
did you what does it say? Did you sell the ghost too? Oh, so they sold the house, they sold the ghost too. Okay, I got it. I got it for a second. For a second, I'm like,
Well, they
what?
were honest. They asked the question if somebody died there, and yeah, I know my friend was crying about it because they
See,
were I said, well, it
I
was
know what
haunted
Danny's
already.
talking about because Danny says, I don't know, but it kind of looks like there's a face on the left wall. I know what he's kind of talking about because when I look at it, it's like it's a different color texture. It's not all one dark gray. It's like there's like a color texture of a face. I know what Danny's talking about. I was looking at that too. I know what he's talking about.
I'll take a look at it closer later. Yeah, I never really examined like I did take a quick zoom in on that mirror. I don't like mirrors too.
Well,
Never was
you know,
crazy about that mirror at the end of that hallway there. Never saw anything in it, but
could that be how the camera pixelated the image? Oh, freaky geek. I mean, anything is a possibility. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's hard to know what cameras when it takes the picture or not. I mean, but they're like I said, they're fun to look at. They're fun to investigate theories. But yeah, cameras can do weird images and shapes too. Yeah, we all know that, you know.
yeah.
But
Might have been
but
a flash off of the wheelchair, like the chrome
yeah.
maybe. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know.
But thing is, of course, we're not basing the whole paranormal off those pictures. You're just showing the area where the cats are and all that. That's just a that's just a plus.
Just
It's
an
just,
example, yeah.
I bet you if I had Andy T codes look at that picture, he could probably if there's a face there, I know his group will find a face. You know
Well,
that.
I'm glad I don't live there anymore if you find one.
So how do you feel now? Like as of right now, like because you have that kind of an experience. What thank God it wasn't a harmful type of a haunting, But are you kind of glad you had it at all? At least, I mean,
Yeah, like it wasn't life changing or anything. It was just something that was happening. It's just something I've been thinking about more like after her passing. We've had time to think about. Like there's so many I've forgotten more things than I'll probably remember that happened there. That was strange.
yeah. I always
Um
get excited when weird things happen. Like I said, I remember making a video. I was telling everybody that I remember I was at this hospital. My wife's doing blood work, and I told everybody like where I saw this person walk into this elevator shut, and it opened right back up. It wasn't like 5 or 10 seconds. It shut. Maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It opened back up, and there was no body in there. There was nobody in there. You know like I said, it's is there an explanation? There could be, but man, when you have those kind of like little experience, it really in a weird way excites you like there's something out there. I want to know more. You know what I mean? Like bits and pieces. You want to know more. So in a lot of ways for me, it's exciting. One of the worst things I hated about when Bob, my brother, came down, we were at the Black Diamond Cemetery that's supposed to be the most haunted. The main piece of evidence, we turned out the cameras, we're ready to go, and we all looked over to our left, and we saw a white floating thing going across, shape of a woman going across. But the cameras were down, everything was down, and it's like we almost like felt like did it know? we had cameras, and now you turn it off. They decide to walk. Couldn't get a
Maybe.
picture over there. Couldn't get a snap. You know what I mean? I mean,
I think
I
it's
think
like
these things.
Bigfoot, like, I don't know. Like, it's gonna be almost impossible to get it on camera.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. It's almost like they know if there's something there, and I always wonder, if you have too many people going to a house or not, do they not want to show themselves? Like a small group, like you said, a lot of your things when you're by yourself. You know, I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of the hauntings, most of the hauntings goes with individually because there ain't a lot of people there.
maybe.
I mean, I don't, it's all speculations. It's all
It made me
speculations, but you got
wonder
to
a
start
lot too,
somewhere.
how much maybe we see things and you don't even know you see things or you've seen something. Because there's just a couple times I only realized what I saw, and it was kind of just by accident. Like, I could have seen it and just, uh, like, when I saw that woman go into the hallway, I didn't even think anything of it. I thought it was the caregiver, even though it looked like my friend and she was wearing this shirt that I have. I if she hadn't have called out to me because I was mixing some dessert or something like that, I saw her go into the hallway or into the laundry room after I heard the washer, like it would make that distinct clink when the washer door uh, unlocks, and I knew it was all empty. So I just looked and I saw her walking into the hallway or the laundry room really quickly. I just assumed it was her. And honestly, if she hadn't have called out to me from the living room a second later, I don't even know if I would have even thought about it, and I'd seen something and it didn't even occur to me. And a book showed up too after she died that nobody knows where it came from. And it was from Steve Harvey, if you know who he is,
I seem like I know that name.
comedian.
I heard that
Um,
name, Steve Harvey.
he's the host of Family Feud.
Yeah. Okay.
So we used to watch hours and hours and hours of like, she loved it. She loved Steve Harvey, even joking that she had a crush on him. And after she passed, this book just showed up on top of all the other books. It was just on top there. And I didn't even think any of that either until I asked my friend, like, where'd you get the book? Because it was an older book, and she had no idea what I was talking about.
Wow.
So I've asked nobody knows where this book came from. And if I hadn't have asked, oh, like, you really like Steve Harvey that much? Like, where did you get that book? So if I hadn't asked, like, you know, I just assumed, like, often do you see things, or are there things around us that you just aren't even aware are paranormal or something like that, if that makes any sense. But
Well, let me ask you one last question, and then we'll wrap it up because I know, especially it's extra later for you. It's an hour later. After everything you seen, you saw, looking at your cat, do you feel you had a real life paranormal experience?
yeah, yeah. Like I said, like, if there wasn't other people there, like, we'd had the evidence of a phone call or a text in the book and all hearing the same things. Yeah, I think so.
I
But
respect
I
that.
don't, if it would been just me, I would not be telling the story. I would assume I was tired and crazy.
I respect that. I remember a good friend of mine used to say, Eric, if people think they saw something, just people need to just say, yeah, I know what it is. I know I saw. It could be Bigfoot, it could be UFOs, could be whatever. You know, be proud, own up to what you saw. Eh, you had a paranormal experience. There's no shame in that. Could there be technically a possibility answer for it? Well, anything, yes, you know, but in your heart that
Yeah,
there was something there. You don't
I
need you
think
don't need
so.
somebody to give you a stamp of approval. You know.
No, thank you for, yeah, letting me share my story. I don't know if it was interesting to anybody, but yeah, I thought it was bizarre and, like, yeah,
No, I
I know
love.
you're
I've
interested.
said this. I love stories from like real people like yourself and yourself. And I am so grateful that I'm actually the first channel you ever went on to tell a story. I mean, I love that. That's makes me feel good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So
Um,
when you make it big out there, when you become, be like, hey, I was the first channel, people.
well, actually, next week, if you know Jim Harold's Campfire, I am gonna share the story, but I'm just gonna do like a quick story. Like I wasn't gonna share as much. There's too much. Like I was gonna share more with you than I am. I'm gonna tell the story, but I'm not getting into the what was happening behind the scenes and that kind of thing. Just yeah, I thought you might be more interested in it. So
No,
yeah,
that's all.
thank you.
And then Dina said, "Great show, great guest." See, I mean, it's it's all that.
Thank you. Thank you, chat, for coming. I didn't even get to see who came. I don't even know. But
you know.
yeah, thank you. I was super nervous and everybody made me feel really good. Yeah, you're a great host. So thank you. Because I was scared.
Oh no, hey, to me, I always like trying to make it where we're just friends talking. We're having a good time, even though there's some scariness in it. But it does. My opinion, it's my opinion. It does help you when you finally get to tell a story or something that it's been eating you on the inside, and not every person. You just can't go out in the world and tell everybody. I think it really does help you, make you feel getting some of this off your chest in a way. You know what I mean? It's just,
Mhm.
I mean, I hope it's helping you.
Yeah, like actually a lot of people aren't interested in, the story. Like you can even tell them and they're like, "Oh, really?" Like they don't even act like 'cause somebody told me they saw a ghost, like I need to know everything about it. Like, what was it
Yeah,
wearing, what time of day? I'm very interested, but others like you could say like, "Yeah, I saw Bigfoot," and they're like, "Oh, really?" Like it's not that they don't believe you. It's just, yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
Well, and again, in the future, you got my email address. I got yours. If you ever want to do like a part two, if you feel like you want to go even deeper on another day, we could
Okay.
do that too.
Yeah, sure.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm always
Yeah.
open. I'm always open for people to come up because I know sometimes this is your first time like telling a story, and then you go back. Oh man, I forgot this. I forgot this. I forgot this. And we can
Mhm.
always do a part two because I know it's very interesting. Look at that. Chi wrote right here. Chi wrote, "Thank you for sharing."
Well,
So
thank you.
people, Dina B, I liked it too.
Oh,
You know,
Dina.
we
Thank
all
you.
like it because we know you're an honest person. You're a real person. You know,
Oh, well, thanks.
and we know. I checked your background. You're not related to Zach Bargains of Ghost Adventure, so you're good.
No, no, no.
No, but beyond that, I truly, seriously, thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. You didn't have to, but you did.
Well, I offered, yeah, I sent the email and offered, so that was great. Thank you.
I love the story with pictures. I know, Danny. Danny, you're right. When you see pictures of the house, it helps you to get more of a vision. When she talks about the cat, now you look at the cat, you saw the cat, and it does help you to vision on, and that's very important. It does help you to vision on what it's like, what the house looked like. So
Yeah.
I agree, Danny. Pictures always help. Even though you're not showing the pictures of you capturing a ghost, you're capturing what the house looks like, what the cat looked like, and it just helps us to vision it, visually put it together.
Yeah.
I move my hands too much. I'm sorry, people.
I've moved my hands way too, yeah, I don't usually, I'm not a hand talker, but I did tonight.
But beyond that, have a good night. And, whenever you feel like, Eric, hey, can we do another one? I got more to say. We'll just do it. You just let me know. It's on.
Okay. Yeah, I've got stuff in my past. Yeah, we will talk about if I get brave enough. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
just let me know. All right. Beyond
Okay.
that, I'll see everybody next time. Oh, I'll see everybody. What is tomorrow? I'll see everybody tomorrow at 2 p.m. Don't have a link up, but I am going live tomorrow at 2 p.m. And maybe tomorrow we'll go over what we talked about here today tomorrow, people. So I'll see everybody tomorrow, and you have a good night, Patty.
You too. Thank you.
See
Bye,
ya.
chat.